1946, Los Alamos National Laboratory. A tiny slip, a flash of blue light. 9 days later, one of the world's top physicists was dead. This is the story of an object so deadly, scientists had a name for it, the demon core. And the experiment that killed not one, but two of its keepers was abandoned forever. In the dying days of World War II, the Manhattan Project had unleashed the atomic bomb. Left behind was a single, dense sphere of plutonium, 6.2 kilograms, barely the size of a baseball. But inside this unremarkable metal ball lurked the power to annihilate entire cities. Scientists nicknamed it Rufus, but history would remember it by a far darker name, the demon core. To understand why it was so dangerous, you need to understand something called criticality. The core was subcritical, safe alone. But when you surrounded it with neutron-reflecting materials, you could push it closer and closer to the edge of a nuclear chain reaction. Scientists called this practice tickling the dragon's tail. And the dragon bit back twice. The first time was August 21st, 1945. Harry Daghlian, a young physicist, was working alone at night. He was stacking tungsten carbide bricks around the core, building a reflector wall. Each brick brought the core closer to criticality. But he accidentally dropped a single brick directly onto the assembly. A blue flash filled the room. A wave of heat, invisible and deadly, passed through his body. Daghlian quickly pushed the brick away, but it was too late. He had received a fatal dose of radiation. Over the next 21 days, his skin blistered, his internal organs failed, and he slipped into a coma. He was 24 years old. The lab was horrified, but the dragon had not yet finished. 9 months later, on May 21st, 1946, physicist Louis Slotin was demonstrating a similar experiment to 7 colleagues. The same core, the same room. But this time, the reflector was a beryllium hemisphere. Slotin was holding it open, ever so slightly, with the flat tip of a screwdriver. The slightest slip, and the hemisphere would fall, completing the reflector and triggering a runaway reaction. And that's exactly what happened. At 3:20 p.m., the screwdriver slipped. A brilliant blue flash, a wave of heat, and a sharp, crackling sound. Slotin instantly threw the hemisphere away, but he knew. He later estimated the flash exposed him to more than 10 times the lethal dose. He stood outside the room, hand on a wall, and quietly said, "I'm sorry." He then sketched where everyone had been standing, calculating their exposures before being rushed to the hospital. He died 9 days later. 7 others survived, some with lasting radiation injuries. Within days of Slotin's death, the lab made a decision. Hands-on criticality experiments, the so-called tickling the dragon's tail, were banned forever. All future tests would be conducted with remote control manipulators from miles away. The screwdriver, the bricks, the bedside calculations, all of it was sealed into the past. And the demon core? It was melted down and recycled into other nuclear tests. Its atoms eventually scattered in a weapon test over the Pacific. But the shadow of those 2 accidents never truly left. Today, 80 years later, The room at Los Alamos where the Corps claimed 2 lives is still standing. And the memory of that blue flash remains a chilling reminder. Some experiments should never be repeated. Because sometimes, the dragon doesn't just bite. It devours.